My name's Erik Sauer. I am the founder of the nonprofit There Goes My Hero, which we started in 2009. I started it after recovering from my own battle with leukemia in 2008. I'd been diagnosed at Hopkins, treated at Hopkins.
I'm Nestor Aparicio. I own WNST.net and AM 1570. I've done sports radio here in Baltimore for 25 years, and my wife got cancer, leukemia, on March 20th of 2014.
My wife had just had our second child, and our first child was 4.5. And I was hospitalized all in for about 107 days at 5 different stints.
You know, the doctors came in at 5 o'clock and said, you have cancer. At 6 o'clock, we called Chuck Pagano. He was our first phone call. He was the only person in the world we knew who had leukemia, that we could call, people that lived and had leukemia, who were in my phone. So, you know, deep into the conversation, you know, after the first 20 minutes, he started to say, in the end, this will be a gift to you. He was right.
I met Nestor and Jen 9 days after her diagnosis. Some of my friends had reached out to Nestor and said he ought to speak with me. I reached to him, he reached back, and I went down to Hopkins and I sat with Jen at her bedside and just kind of gave her the dirty story about what it takes to get through a leukemia diagnosis and what it takes to get through a bone marrow transplant.
She needed to have a donor after she got to remission, and then she needed to survive the transplant. But she got to remission on May 11th, which was the real miracle in all of this, and there's a bunch of miracles, but and then she needed a donor, and she had 2 matches in the world. I think the statistics are 60% of people die from transplant. So it was a heck of a journey, but she's tough. She's tough.
A bone marrow transplant is in fact a cure for some people, and it's one of those things that there is a person out in the world who matches another. There's a person out in the world who matches a patient who has leukemia, and you can potentially cure cancer. You don't have to go to Hopkins and get your medical degree. You don't have to spend years in school. You can help cure cancer by being a bone marrow match for somebody.
She didn't know her blood type, and she looked up and saw the bag of blood, and the bag of blood was B positive. So we were.
I think once you're able to educate people and let them know how simple it actually is to join the registry and how meaningful and impactful it can be, they'll want to be on the bone marrow registry.
So the folks from There Goes My Hero came along very quickly and very briskly because they're all survivors. There's no education like going onto the internet and figuring it out, because they don't sit someone in the room 24 hours a day to answer all of your questions. I mean, we started writing questions down every day for doctors, just trying to figure out what the pathway was to survive.
We can help other people in some very, very simple ways, and those simple ways can be very, very meaningful. You know, providing somebody a meal when they've got bigger problems is incredibly powerful. Getting on the bone marrow registry is a simple swab of a cheek with a Q-tip in your mouth that takes 30 seconds. The paperwork is the most difficult part. These are easy things to do, and I think everybody's always looking for good things to do in their day-to-day, and supporting us is a way to do that. So,
we're paying it forward. And There Goes My Hero will allow us to do that, because we've become what Chuck Pagano was to us. People get leukemia now. We're their first phone call.
And it's neat just to see how he's taken our mission and trumpeted it to the masses, made great connections with the Ravens, great connections with some of his business associates, and used those opportunities to help us grow also.
You know, we all got a lot of life left in us. So, pay it forward. That's what we're gonna do.